Heidi-ho! So today we're going to go over sub-procedures. Now you should know a little bit about them already, considering we've been working with them a lot, but particularly what a sub-procedure is, it is something that can run a lot of tasks. Now they can take arguments kind of like functions, so you can actually make a sub-procedure within a sub-procedure. I use this a lot, especially to break up your program. It makes it look a lot nicer and a lot easier to read, and it's a lot easier to debug. But the one disadvantage that it has is that it cannot be called like a function can by Excel. So if you ever make your own user-defined function, you're able to actually go to Excel and type that function in and be able to use it in your actual Excel application. But this is not the case for sub-procedures when you're working with it in a formula context. Now, the one advantage is that they can change the structure or the look of Excel objects. And this can range from a variety of things, from like deleting objects in Excel versus adding them, working with like different colors, opening workbooks. Pretty much the sky's the limit. So it's pretty important to know the difference, be able to use them. There's no way you could say I'm going to use one and not the other. You have to be able to use them interchangeably. So we're going to be working with this program here, but in order to call a sub-procedure within a sub-procedure, basically you just say call whatever the sub-procedure name is, and that's how you basically do it. So we're going to go to Excel and quickly mock up a program. Now, start off with writing a sub. We're going to call this delete column. And for this, we're going to use a range variable that's going to be passed to it. And this is how a sub-procedure can take an argument. It's the same thing as a function where you first write the variable name and then you say the data type. And this data type is going to be a range. You're going to be working with ranges a lot more often in the near future, but you should be somewhat familiar with them now. So the way we're going to use this is we're going to use an actual method, which we'll touch on later, and we're going to say the entire column of this range, we want to delete it. So that's what our sub-procedure does. Cool. So this really can't do anything by itself. If I try to use F5 to run it, it's like, well, what the heck? You can't do anything with this. And that's because it has an argument. So the only way to actually run this sub-procedure here is by making another sub-procedure so that I can be able to run it. And we're going to call this like our main macro. That's a very common name that I use for most of my programs. Now, again, the way to call a sub-procedure within a sub-procedure, well, it's kind of inception-y. You say just call right here, and then you say delete column. And because this is taking an argument here, you can see that when I write this parentheses, it's adding the same exact thing as this line up here. So it needs a range argument. So let's just give it a range value. We can do this using the range method or the sols method. Doesn't really matter. We're going to make it give a 1. So go to Excel real quick. I'm just going to show you that this actually does stuff. Let's color this green because that's a really nice color. And once I run this program, I go here for my main macro. It calls on this macro here, so it jumps over there, runs through this, just deleted that column, and now it goes back to the original main program. So that's how sub-procedures work within sub-procedures. I can run this multiple times to kind of show you how this is still working. And there we go. Now you have it.